For more, we can go across to Philip Sherwold, the Asia correspondent for the Sunday Times in Bangkok. Philip, there's no compromise being offered from the Prime Minister. He just wants this pro-democracy movement done.
Yes, the protesters have been out there on the streets now for several months, and everything the government has tried so far to dislodge them has failed. They introduced an emergency decree to ban public gatherings. That just led to larger protests. They arrested a series of leaders, and that just sort of spawned more of a sort of leaderless protest type approach. So now he is saying that the government is going to use all the laws and all the articles in its sort of legal framework to go after the protesters who've been on the streets so defiantly. It's not clear whether they will bring into force the royal defamation laws, which are extremely strict, because the protesters who were out on the streets last night were very vocal in their criticism of the monarchy, and they sprayed some graffiti, which really is quite shocking by Thai standards. And the Prime Minister feels he's got to move.
Speaking about those protests yesterday outside the police headquarters, there was no violence, but clearly there's tension in the air.
Yeah, they sprayed the police headquarters with paint. They sort of fired water pistols into the grounds. This was in response to clashes the previous evening when the police used water cannon and chemical irritants on the protesters. So that's why the protesters were back in front of the police headquarters yesterday. Then playing out across Bangkok was was Parliament sitting to consider sort of constitutional changes. So there's just a lot going on. It's very tense. It's very febrile, and it's kind of approaching the point where the Prime Minister feels he really has no choice but to act and potentially head off criticism of him from higher authorities, which means the palace in this country.
Philip, thank you very much for that update. Philip Sherwold reporting there from Bangkok.